1, 2, how do you do?
There's a storm brewing. It's a supernatural storm. There's a storm brewing. It's a supernatural storm. But the end is not yet. The end is not.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Going to be with you in just a moment here, folks. Going to be with you in just a moment. Testing 1, 2. How do you do? How do you do? Hey, we don't need this in there, do we? No, we do not. All right. Yeshua is coming. Hello. Folks, if you're popping into the chat, just say hello, say hi, let us know you're here. This is going to be a fairly short live stream, my friends. Just want to catch you up on the latest goings on as far as Russia and Ukraine and what is happening. And just to let you know right now, there's been rumors that nuclear weapons have been used. They have not been used. Okay, there have been no nuclear weapons used, so don't be concerned with that, folks. Believe me, if nuclear weapons were used, we would know. We would know, and there would be a clamorous response. Mucking fuddled! Hey! Good to have you in here, my friend. And Yeshua is coming is here. And yes, Yeshua is coming. Praise Jesus. Be right with you in a moment here, folks. Just going to clear off some stuff that keeps popping up. You know, stuff that pops up, annoying stuff. Hello, Tanya. Glad to have you here. Just bear with me a minute, okay? Maybe a couple more of you will pop in. Again, this is impromptu and unannounced, so I don't expect this to be a big event here as far as how many of us are here. But we're going to catch up on some details. You know, Yeshua is coming. I have heard that. Yes, I have. On more than one occasion. All right, let's start running through some things here. I just have to make sure that we are completely up to date at my source here of what's going on, and we may cover some other news items as well. Again, this is almost like doing a talk radio show with images, and we're going to look at stuff here and just bring you up to date. I've got a variety of sources here piping in from, especially from that area. An anti-war protest is set to begin here in Russia. Let's get a look at that. It looks like a massive trucker convoy, like the one that is starting to roll here in the United States. So this is an anti-war protest getting set to go in Russia. All right. Okay. So we've got some of that going on here, my friends. We have an advisor to the Ukrainian Interior Ministry says Russian forces entered Chernobyl, and that fighting there destroyed a nuclear waste storage facility. All right, folks. Again, I don't know how seriously to take that. I guess that is entirely possible that has happened. That could be where this rumor of nuclear weapons being used got started because of that simple fact. And again, we have another source: Ukraine fighting rages in Chernobyl near nuclear facility. This could be potentially serious, my friends. Maybe we want to jump in and get some details on that. Let's have a look here. This is courtesy of Insider Paper, and all we know about this right now is that this is a developing story. Okay, so we have Ukraine fighting rages in Chernobyl near nuclear facility. Oh, leaping lizards and golly wow. Don't know how that's going to play out, but we will keep an eye on that situation, certainly. Again, if you're out there, folks, pop in the chat, say hi. I'm going to be popping in on you every now and again as I can. Let's keep moving here. Let's keep this moving. Okay, this is not fun and games. Let's keep this moving. Footage of Russian tanks entering parts of Kharkiv. Now, you've got to remember, Kharkiv is the second largest city in the Ukraine. So this is again another serious matter, like it would be with Kiev. And we have Russian tanks moving in here right now into Kharkiv. I want to make sure I've got full audio up on this, guys. Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, we're going to turn that audio down just there. Aaron Freckle. There we go. Okay. So again, you see that. This is just in recent moments, tanks rolling into Kharkiv. Let us keep rolling. Again, we know that already. That's not even news anymore. Here we have the situation in Ukraine is developing rapidly, but Russia's initial operation plan is becoming clear from the different axes of advance. And again, we've got to remember they have different axes of advance. They're not just going to come in from the north like they've already been doing. I mean, they plan to come through the south. They've been coming out of Crimea this morning, too. Again, there's been missiles involved. There's been some aircraft involved. We have to keep in mind this is going to be coming in from multiple directions, folks. And again, another report of the anti-war protest that's going to begin there. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that was snuffed out very quickly, my friends. Okay, we have from live conflict, we have another Russian plane that's been shut down. I probably should read shot down near Kiev, even as the Russians occupy the airport. You know, the Ukrainians are friends. They are fighting back with everything they have, and at this point, they're holding their own. Here we go. You see that right there. And again, that's just a quick clip of that plane being brought down near the Kiev airport. A lot of stuff. Jaded Truther, good morning. With fear and trembling, hi. Glad to have you in here. Glad to have you aboard. We're just going to be running through the details here as best we can. I've got a number of sources hooked up on this feed right here, and we're going to be checking in with them and see where this goes. Again, you know, I just saw reporting of a mushroom cloud spotted, but I'm going to say right now that nuclear weapons have not been used. And Vladimir Putin has threatened. Now, he has threatened, this is kind of a tacit threat of nuclear weapons. He has threatened the Western world. If anybody interferes with his operation, they're going to see events like they have never seen before. Okay, so what would events like they have never seen before be? Could it be nuclear weapons? Could it be a massive cyber attack? The Watchman, welcome aboard, my friend. Yes, I have seen reporting of the 9 Chinese jets flying over Taiwan. Again, don't be surprised right now. Don't be surprised. As I've said in some of my recent videos, we're so busy watching one hand, we don't see what the other hand is doing. And don't be surprised that while we're watching this hand in Russia, that the Chinese hand doesn't make a move on Taiwan. That's just another situation. These are tense times, my friends. These are very tense times. And Jaded Truther, thank you for, yes, I enjoy being here live. My hope, folks, is what I plan to do while this situation continues on is do a number of short live streams. I'm not going to do the hours-long things unless there is something significant happening. Now, we have this here, the Ukraine-Russian fighter jet strike a residential area with an air-to-ground missile. Okay, and L-Team is trying to geolocate this, but let's grab a look at this while we are right here. This looks like the after... Oh, wait, no, there we go. Oh, my gosh. All right, let's watch that again. I don't know if you caught that, but let's watch that again. Let's go right back to the top here, okay? Let's go right back to the top here. That occurred so fast. We're going to do this again. Here we go. Here we go. Right there. Oh. All right, there's nothing that gives me the chills worse than hearing a child crying. I am a dad, and yeah, I don't want to hear that. But that is what happens in war, folks. And hopefully that child is okay. Obviously, it was the parent I'm thinking that was filming that. But you saw that plane come zooming right in and do that. This is serious, folks. This is war, and to think that this is just going to stay contained to the Ukraine, we can't believe that it's just going to stay contained to the Ukraine. Mr. Putin has got big aspirations right now, and he's got China supporting him. So this is the real deal, folks. However this shakes out. Yes, Jada Truther, that was a child screaming, and that's one thing I hate to hear. I just hate to hear that. Tanya, yeah, there's reason to have your stomach in knots, but God has got this. It may not seem like it, but God has got this, and we have to remember that. Jesus, please come quickly. Please come quickly, but everything is in His time, and it's just so hard to wait, folks. It's so hard when we're dealing with all this, and we're going to keep moving right now. The mayor of Kiev has announced that alongside martial law, a new curfew will be instated. Yes, I would imagine so. The mayor of Ganeshsk, that's again in the Ukraine, confirms that the Russian armed forces are in the city. To borrow a little bit from the Paul Begley page. Everybody, get some coffee. Get some coffee. Are you serious? I love Paul Begley. Love him. Get some coffee. Get yourselves a beverage. Do what you need me do. Do what you need to do right now to stay fortified and satisfied. Yeah, the Watchman. I agree with you, my friend. I agree with you. It's the mainstream media keeps a safe distance, and they seem to over glorify this whole thing. Hello, one true God. Glad to have you here. Hello, everyone. If I've missed anybody, hello. Glad to have you here in the chat. Please like this stream. Please share it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Do all of that stuff that you would do. Do your thing, folks. Do your thing, and I will continue on. I'm not here to be an entertainer. This is business. This is war, folks. Julia Davis. Who is Julia Davis? I know. Okay, Julia Davis is a columnist with the Daily Beast. While Putin is waging war against Ukraine, Russia's state TV is blaming Zelensky and calling him the president of war. Interesting, for not surrendering. Yeah, he should have just surrendered and none of this would be happening, right? I don't think so. They're mocking Zelensky for still believing the West would help. This is beyond Orwell. Yeah, this is beyond Orwell. This is pure evil. Pure evil, my friends. This is the end of days. I mean, this is the end of days. We are stepping in there, and this is just the beginning. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. We need to be ultra alert. We need to be alert in our sleep right now. This is just the beginning. We don't know how far this is going to go. Again, we have to believe that Putin has far-reaching aspirations. Some of those other former Russian republics in that area, it's very likely he's going to make a move. And we have China. We have China, folks. We have China. China getting involved in this would be the worst thing. And don't forget about Israel and Iran. Do not forget about Israel and Iran. Israel is not down with this alleged JCPOA, this nuclear arrangement that's being worked out. It's a crock of crap, and Israel knows it. And don't be surprised. I am not trying to be sensationalist here, okay? I do not go for sensation. I mean, sensationalism would get me more views, I'm sure. But not to be a sensationalist, but we are perched most likely on the major of something. Losing my train of thought here. I better get another sip of coffee. These are perilous times. We are perched on the precipice of something ultra significant, my friends, and anything could happen at this point, folks. Anything could happen. And again, I appreciate the small group of you that are here. Thanks for being here. I'm going to continue on. If you're out there and haven't popped into the chat to say hello, please do so. Please do so. I would love to hear from you. Okay, we're going to keep moving. Okay. We've got warships moving all the time. The French Navy Loire-class supporter vessel FS Lorey coming into, okay, it's going into India, so that's not in play here as far as this goes. Hey, who's that guy? All right, keep moving. Ukrainian forces confirmed they shelled the airport and are fighting Russian forces. That's from Woofers. Woofers is another account that does a very good job of covering this situation. We're going back to the top, folks, because I'm sure that there's just news popping off here by the second. We're going to go back to the top. We're going to run through this thing again. And Russian gas lobbyist and former German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder calls for restraint in the use of sanctions against Russia. Yeah, there's always been this sense that the Germans may be in line with the Russians, saying this could endanger a return to peace and dialogue. Listen, Gerhard, I'm going to tell you something, mister. Peace and dialogue, we're beyond that point, okay? You New World Order sycophants would love to see your manner of peace and dialogue. Why don't you go hang out with Klaus and discuss your future plans? Okay, so Biden is going to deliver a speech at 20:30 Moscow time, so in 2 hours. Okay, so it's 10:09 now, so you got to figure about noon. He's going to deliver a speech. I'm sure that's going to be exciting. I'm sure that's going to be titillating and scintillating, folks. And he will probably be late anyway. He always is. I'm not going to say anything more about that. But I'm sure that's probably something that if you miss it, you may not miss much. Again, is this that same video of the child and screaming and this thing is just popping up everywhere, folks. Okay, this is helicopters, and again, this is from Novi Petrivsky. If I pronounce this incorrectly, please forgive me. Novi Petrivsky, Kiev Oblast. Okay, so again, we're in the area of Kiev. UK Air Force M24 activity. Okay, so that is not Russian aircraft right there, folks. That is not Russian aircraft. I'm going to pop back in here. Do I think that the United States could be the mystery Babylon? Babylon, yes. I think it's very possible. And the Watchman, the point that you make, yes. I've often believed that New York could be the area that falls in 1 hour. It's to think that somehow we in the U.S. are going to escape prophecy. To think that we're going to escape the woes that are coming. That's just crazy to think that we're going to escape it. And Psalm 83, yes, Psalm 83. If you've never read Psalm 83, folks, it is a good read. It really lays out a lot of this future war that we're entering into, which may not be so far into the future. Definitely read through Psalm 83, and if you don't understand what you're reading, you can read. There are plenty of study Bibles that would explain exactly what's being detailed here. Time for a sip of water. Everybody get a sip right now. Take a sip of whatever beverage you have. Adam Good, God bless you, my friend. That's going to buy me a big old can of coffee. God bless you. Glad you're here, my friend. Glad you're here. Yeah, Adam, we got to go fishing one of these days. We got to find some time to do that. Brenda Weltner, welcome aboard. Brenda, I love your teachings that you've been posting on YouTube, by the way. Very much, very, very, very good. Folks, look up Brenda Weltner on YouTube. She offers some great teachings, especially on Revelation. I recommend that you look her up. Do that. You would do yourself a service to do that. I'm going to continue on now, okay? I'm going to just try to continue on, keep moving through things that are pertinent to what we're dealing with Russia and Ukraine. Now, evidently, Turkish cargo ship on the way to Odessa was attacked with a bomb. Okay. And that was sourced by World on Alert, who generally is good at catching the real stuff. And when it comes to real stuff, Marx has always got the real stuff here. Ukraine officially acknowledges that it lost the control of South Kherson region to Russians. Okay, so they're starting to acknowledge that they're losing some turf. And again, Russia has not taken over Kiev yet. Remember, Kiev is the capital of Ukraine. And again, folks, I want to keep cautioning you. You have to believe that this is not going to stop here. That he's not going to take total control of Kiev or Ukraine. More coffee, Jim. Ukraine, and be satisfied with that. He's not going to stop at the Ukraine unless he's stopped. And honestly, I don't know how that's going to happen. We're looking at possibly events that are leading up to the Gog-Magog war in Ezekiel 38 and 39. I mean, so far, we don't see Israel involved in this yet. But that hook in the jaw that draws Russia and a number of Middle Eastern parties into Israel, this is not directly related to that yet. This could lead to that, okay? If we look at everything that's going on right now between Russia, Ukraine, again, China, Taiwan, Israel, Iran, we're sitting on hot coals right now. And could this lead potentially to the fulfillment of Ezekiel 38, 39, the Gog-Magog war? It could. We will see. We have another Russian aircraft shot down in one parachute from ejection. This is the exact moment now when a Russian army helicopter was shot down by Ukraine forces at the Kiev outskirts today. Again, is this the same one we saw before? No. Wow. Look at that. You see the parachutist right there. Leaping lizards and golly wow. Okay, let's keep moving here, folks. We see that now. And he was rescued here, the way it looks. Okay, we know again that Biden is going to give remarks on Russia's unprovoked and unjustified attack. Again, I seriously doubt the man's going to offer anything insightful or informative. Another look at that plane. Again, this is a Russian Su-24M reportedly on the outskirts of Kiev. I believe this is probably the same plane we looked at, but with a different perspective. Let's see this here. Yeah, it looks like it's got anti-aircraft right on its tail there, but I'm wondering what else took it down. Okay, that is really something to see, folks. Again, we are all media now, all of us. We are all media. Anybody out there with a phone that can record or transmit any information, we are all media here. Yes, we are. And I'm going to pop over here for a minute. One true God, it could be the oil. It could be the oil. As far as the Watchman mentions an invasion of America, a possible invasion of America. Yes, I do think it's coming. I think we here in America, we are so dreadfully asleep. We are so dreadfully pacified here. We're so immersed in the world here in this nation. We are so terrified of a particular thing of an alleged biological nature, and I've already had 2 YouTube strikes. That's why when you see me disappear, I've had strikes. I can't even approach another one right now, folks. But you know what I mean. And that seems to be our number one concern in this country right now, is that the situation that we've been dealing with for 2+ years and getting the appropriate amount of pins in our cushions. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, that's all I'm going to say, folks. I am censored. I understand I am censored, and we're going to leave it at that. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Again, I'm glad that you're all here. It's just a small group. This is an impromptu live stream, but I'm glad that you're all here. I'm going to run right back to the top of this because, again, this information is coming up fast and furious, so we're going to stay right on the ball here, stay right on the top of this, folks. Okay, we have from World Events Live, fighting is being reported in the vicinity of the Chernobyl disaster site. I don't know at this point how dangerous Chernobyl is. I have heard both. I have heard that it's fairly safe to go near it now, And I've also heard and read that know that it's still very toxic there, that it should be avoided. So we have that fighting going on there. Breaking, this is from the Insider paper, a good source. Ukraine president says Russia's occupation forces are trying to capture the Chernobyl nuclear plant. Says this is a declaration of war against the whole of Europe. Okay. Well, you know what I think it might be? I think it's very possible that this is a declaration against the whole of Europe. And of course, reported from Idris Ali, we have EU diplomat says this new package of sanctions is going to have massive consequences, concentrated to hit the leadership in Moscow. The leadership in Moscow, they don't care about sanctions. They're not concerned with sanctions right now. This is not something that they're even remotely concerned of. I mean, will these sanctions hurt them? Potentially. Are they going to say, ouch? No, probably not. Let's keep moving here. Now, this is from Blacklisted News. Kiev citizens are told to flee to bomb shelters now, with Putin's troops feared to be bombing Ukrainian capital imminently. Okay, this is what we've been watching for after Russian missiles earlier struck airports and military bases. Okay, so again, we have Ukrainian citizens being told to flee to bomb shelters now. Yeah, and we've got various images here. Let's see if we can get these opened up and look at them. Okay, it's all one composite image. But again, you may not be able to see this very well. This is a tiny image. I really can't blow this up anymore. But these are all the entry points right here. All of these red squares that you see here and rectangles are all entry points for the Russian military. And yes, I would recommend that folks be heading to bomb shelters right now. And again, there's that video again. If you didn't see this, okay, if you didn't see this, I think this is the one with the child screaming. But if you didn't see this, if you've come into the live stream after this, you should see this. I think it's the same one. I'm not sure. Let's see here.
Чо? Я не бачу. Ой, Боже.
Okay, you saw how close that fighter jet was. Again, you know, we don't need to hear that anymore. But I think again in its graphic state it is worth looking at. This is war, folks. This is what happens, and this is. It's sad, it's evil, it's terrible, but we have to deal with it. And again, you want to keep the children in this area in your prayers, folks. The children are the most innocent victims with all of this. Thank you with fear and trembling. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Every little bit is great. Thank you. But we want to keep the children in our prayers. We want to keep that entire area in our prayers. And yet we know how this is all going to go down. Any of us who follow Christ, who follow the back of the book, we have a pretty good idea of how this is going to go down. But the children, and you've got to remember, the children, God has got the children. God has the children. But still, what we don't want to see is pain and suffering. We don't want it. I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, it's just it's pain and suffering in children is something that just I can't. So we'll leave it at right there. I think you know what I mean. The stage, one true God. The stage is being set. Everything that we are seeing right now with what they call the Great Reset, Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, all these people, the situation that we've been dealing with for the past 2+ years. All of this is building the Antichrist's kingdom. These men are all wittingly or unwittingly building this for him. And believe me, when he's in charge, he will have no more use for them. He will have no more use for those men. We are watching this thing build by the day. And again, at least I can speak as an American. I would imagine most of us, the small group that's in here, are probably all Americans. I know Mucking Fuddled, I think you're from Wales, right, my friend? But we here in America, we are so afflicted with cranial rectimitis. I mean, we just are. Forgive me for saying so. In this country, our heads are so far up our asses, we can't see what's going on here. We have been so pacified here in this country. We have been so brainwashed here in this country. And it's not everybody, but the vast majority of the population. They have no clue. They have no clue. It's shocking to me. It's frightening to me, and it's sad. It's sad. It's just that I'm glad that there's a number of us here that are awake and aware. And I don't mean woke. I mean awake. We're not woke. We're awake, and we're watching. And unfortunately, America's wake-up call is coming, and it's going to be a startling affair for too many people. It's going to be a startling affair for too many people. America's wake-up call is coming, whether it's massive cyber attacks, whether it's an invasion, whether it's I don't even want to say the other thing, but I think you know what I was going to say. People suffering because of decisions they have made regarding particular procedures. I will say that, okay? America's wake-up call is coming, and we need to pray for our fellow Americans, and more of them, that the scales will be removed from their eyes and they will see what's going on. I'm going to continue on. Enough of my pontificating here. We're not here to hear me pontificate. We're here to catch up on what is going on with Russia and Ukraine, so I'm going to be catching up here. We're going to run through this one more time, my friends. USA defense official says that Russia's today's action is an initial phase of a large-scale invasion. Yet, I think that's been established. Thank you, L team, for posting that. That has been established. European natural gas prices up now 60%, biggest one-day jump on record, and you can be certain that is probably most likely related to what is going on right now in Ukraine. All right, okay, this could be important. This is from Israel Radar. Russia criticizes Israeli presence on Golan Heights, says area belongs to Syria. Okay, here we go. This is something to watch. Will Moscow take a more aggressive position in the Middle East? Yeah, they're going to. Meanwhile, top Israeli officials to meet tonight at Defense Ministry headquarters. Okay, again, this could be something. This could be something. What were we just talking about a few minutes ago? Gog Magog. Okay, there we have Russia, we have Israel, we have Syria. Again, another step in that direction potentially. Okay, this is something that we should certainly keep an eye on, my friends. And again, we know that Biden is going to speak at 12:30. We know that there's been a curfew announced in Kiev. Intel Air and Sea, which is a great source for grabbing a lot of stuff related to Air and Sea. I see we've entered the stage of the conflict where Arma 3 footage gets passed around. Seems to happen in almost every conflict. I think what he's referring to is maybe fake footage, or we have to be very careful of fake footage, of old footage maybe from the 2014 episode there in Ukraine being used. We've got to be very watchful. Fake news, fake footage of things. I think so far what we're seeing here this morning is legit and on point. We know about the large-scale invasion. DHS officials said that Russian cybersecurity threat against the United States is still active despite Russia's decision to launch a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. My guess is that it's probably more active now. Again, the sanctions, any retaliation, even as something as simple as sanctions, could trigger massive cyber attacks against the U.S. And this is something, my friends, we have got to be watchful for. Is these massive cyber attacks that could strike us? I mean, we would retaliate against them. My friends, I'm gonna sign off for now. Okay, I just wanted to bring us up to date. I appreciate all of you who have been here. I appreciate the coffee funds. Thank you so much, everyone that's been in here today. I very much appreciate you. Love you all. Maybe there'll be another stream later. I'm going to be watching this throughout the day, and as things occur, if I feel like we need to get back in here and have another little gathering, we will do so. But thank you so much. Fear and trembling. Yeshua is coming. Mucking fuddled. Mucking fuddled. I have a real soft spot for you, my friend, for all your support that you've offered, all your kind comments on my videos. I thank you, my friend. all of you here, you're all, I appreciate all of you. You're all special to me. You're part of the reason why I do this. Thanks so much. I'm going to sign out for now. Remember, what do I always say? Do not be given over to the spirit of fear, but instead of the power of love and of a sound mind that comes through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Jim signing out. God bless you, folks. I will